Good morning. Today we're going to start a series on factorization, and the simplest form of factorization is taking out a common factor, which we're going to look at today. When you're taking out a common factor, it doesn't matter how many terms you have in the algebraic expression. What you're looking for is something common to every single term. So let's start off with a trinomial, in other words, 3 terms. And we're going to look first of all at the coefficients, and then we're going to look at the variables to see what they have in common. So remember, the coefficients are the numbers in front of the variables, and if we look at 15, 9 and 18 to find the highest common factor, if you've forgotten how to do that, go back to the video on highest common factors. The easiest way to do that is to say what times table do these all belong to. So if we look carefully, 9 and 18 both belong to the 9 times table, but 15 doesn't. So the table that they all belong to is 3, which means I can take out a common factor of 3. And then I need to look at the variables. So remembering that a cubed means a times a times a, and a squared means a times a, and this one just has a, what is the highest value of the variable a that I can take out? What is common to all of them? And that is simply a. So the trick with the variables, or anything with exponents attached to it, is to look for the one with the lowest exponent. So remember, a actually means a to the power of 1. So that's got a squared, a cubed, so I can only take out a to the power of 1. And then I'm going to open a bracket to show what's left after I've taken out the common factor. So the way to do that is to say 15 divided by 3 leaves me with 5, because I've taken out that 3, and a cubed divided by a, remember a is to the power of 1. When I'm dividing exponents, dividing powers, then I subtract the exponents, so a to the 3 minus 1 is 2. Then I say, how many times did 3 go into 9, or 9 divided by 3 will leave me with 3. A squared divided by a to the power of 1 is a to the 2 minus 1, which is 1. 18 divided by 3 leaves me with 6. And a divided by a is leaving me with 1. And instead of saying 6 times 1, which is just going to leave me with 6, that's it. So I've taken out the highest coefficient and the highest variable as a term, and the bracket shows me what's left over. If I started off with 3 terms in the beginning, there should be 3 terms in my bracket, otherwise I've made a mistake. Right, let's have a look at one with 2 variables in it. So again, I'm going to look at the coefficients first. So if I look at 6, 18 and 12, what is the highest number that can divide into all of them exactly? Well, that should jump out at you as being 6. Then let's look at my x variables. So I've got x cubed, x squared, and x to the power of 1. So the highest I can take out is x to the power of 1. I have y to the 1, y squared, y cubed. So the only y value that all of them have got is y, or y to the power of 1. Open my brackets. 6 divided by 6 is 1. You can write it down if you want, but we don't do that. So try and get into the habit of setting things out in the most simple mathematical method that you can. X cubed divided by x gives me x to the 3 minus 1, which is 2. And y divided by y is 1. So just remember, when you've taken out the entire power, you don't have to write anything down, because we never say times 1. Right, now I'm going to say 18 divided by 6 leaves me with 3. X squared divided by x means x to the 2 minus 1, which is x to the power of 1. Y squared divided by y, the same thing. 2 minus 1 will leave me with 1. And again, we don't write them in. Plus 12 divided by 6 is 2. X divided by x, they cancel out. Y cubed divided by y means y to the 3 minus 1, which is 2. I've processed all 3 of the terms. I do have 3 terms in the bracket, and I started off with 3 terms originally, so all looks good. Now let's have a look at an example where I have more than 3 terms, and I can have any number of terms as long as they've all got a common factor. So what's different about this one is, first of all, it's longer, there are more variables, and also, very importantly, the first term is negative. Whatever the sign of the first term is, that is normally the sign that you take out as a common factor. So I'm going to be taking out negative, and then I need to look at all my coefficients, 16, 6, 10, and 8. So 16 and 8 both belong to the 8 times table, but neither of these do. So if you look very carefully through all of them, the only factor that we can really take out is 2. Then I've got p to the 4, p squared, p cubed, p squared. So I'm looking for the highest common factor of the power of p, and the easiest way to do that is to look for the one that's got the lowest exponent. So I've got an exponent of 4, 2, 3, and 2. So I'm going to take out p to the power of 2, or p squared. My q powers, I've got cubed to the 4th, squared, and squared. So I'm going to take out q squared. I have r squared, r cubed, r to the power of 4, and r squared. So with a base of r, my lowest exponent is 2. Once I've decided what the factors are that I'm taking out, I open my bracket. So here we've got to be a little bit careful, because if you take out a negative common factor, it is going to affect the signs inside the bracket. So the easiest thing to do is to say negative divided by negative is positive, just to make sure you don't make a mistake. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And then we're going to have p to the 4 minus 2, which is 2, q to the 3 minus 2, which is q to the 1, and r squared and r squared, we're going to be left with no r power. A negative divided by a negative is positive. 6 divided by 2 is 3. P squared divided by p squared, they cancel out. Q to the 4 divided by q squared is going to give me q to the 4 minus 2, which is 2. And r cubed divided by r squared is going to give me r to the 3 minus 2, which is 1. Then a positive divided by a negative is negative. 10 divided by 2 is 5. P cubed divided by p squared is p to the power of 1. Q squared divided by q squared, they cancel. R to the 4 divided by r squared is r to the 4 minus 2, which is 2. And we're into our 4th term, and we need to say negative divided by negative is positive. 8 divided by 2 is 4. P squared divided by p squared, they cancel. Q squared, they cancel. R squared, they cancel. So here I'm left with a constant without any variables. That's fine, because I have taken all of those out as a common factor. So what you can remember as a shortcut when you take out a negative common factor is that all the signs inside the brackets will change. I went through the process of saying negative divided by negative is positive, etc., etc. But if you have a look, it was negative, negative, positive, negative, and now it's positive, positive, negative, positive. So as you become more experienced and do more of these, you'll realize that if you've taken out a negative exponent, you just have to change the signs in the bracket. If you're going to forget that, then rather just go through the process of working out the signs each time, as well as the coefficients and the variables.